Hello? Hello? Do you have a minute? I want to talk to you about KeyBank personal loans and lines of credit. Don't go anywhere. You're going to love today's conversation. I guarantee it. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Story Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you had to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to have a convo with you about KeyBank. And we want to talk about KeyBank funding, difference between personal loans and lines of credit. Let's first start with personal loans. Are you with me? Are you with me? Are you ready to be unstoppable today? All right. So if you need to borrow money, there are several great reasons to choose a personal loan over a credit card. And what we love about KeyBank is that they have a constellation of products and services that will help you get the loan that you need. Okay. They have loans with the lower interest rate and higher borrowing limits. And this is kind of key because we are basically looking for a lender that is very generous. We're not looking for lenders who will give you $5,000 or $1,000. No. That's peanuts. We want lenders who are very generous. We're talking about $25,000, $40,000, $50,000, $100,000. So in the case of KeyBank, you can borrow up to $50,000. You can even go beyond that, but you have to go to a branch. You have to have some kind of solid financial situation. So when you get a loan, when you get a personal loan from KeyBank, you can use the loan for consolidating high interest debt. You can use the loan to buy a car. You can pay for home renovations or repairs. You can plan a wedding or vacation. Wonderful, right? You can even cover medical bills, okay? And this is not an exhaustive list. There are a lot of things you can do with a loan. So what I'm just giving you some kind of an illustrative view of things you can do with KeyBank. One thing I want to say here is that KeyBank loves contact. They want to see you. So it's a lot better to go to a branch. Okay. If you are interested in a KeyBank loan, you want to be on the phone or you want to go to a branch and explain to a loan officer why you're looking for the loan. Okay. And in terms of loan highlights, you have, by the way, these loans are unsecured. You don't have to pledge any personal guarantee, not a problem. You don't have to pledge any collateral. No, those are unsecured. So the loan minimum is $5,000 and there is no maximum limit stated. However, as I said before, if you want to borrow more than $50,000, you need to go to a KeyBank brick and mortar branch. And the term, fantastic, 7 years. Think about it, 84 months. Wonderful. Let me quickly talk to you about the pros and cons. So when we talk about KeyBank personal loans and lines of credit, there are some pros and there are a few cons that you need to pay attention to because everything is not rosy, right? You might be thinking, well, this guy is saying that KeyBank is great. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that this is a bank that has been innovating the last few years. They offer stellar customer service and their loans are kind of interesting. First, let's talk about the pros. Interest rates can be competitively low, especially if you have an MPR with the bank, a multi-product relationship, and or have a stellar FICO. Okay, they have flexible repayment periods. Think about it, 7 years. Where have you found a national bank offer 7 years on a loan? So, and you can earn KeyBank rewards through the loans. That's just wonderful. And what about the cons? You have an origination fee that applies sometimes. There is a prepayment penalty and funding can take a week. But one thing we have found is that if you go to a branch, if you have a conversation with someone, if you sit down with someone, you can actually get your loan a little faster. Who can apply for a personal loan from KeyBank? First of all, you got to be 18 or older and you got to be a U.S. citizen. If you're not a U.S. citizen, you got to have a social security number and you also have to work and you have to have a relationship with KeyBank. In other words, you got to have an account with them. They have to see the inflows and outflows of cash and know exactly how strong you are liquidity wise. Liquidity, that's the key word here. I want you to write it down. Liquidity. They want to see what kind of ka-ching is coming into your account and going out. Okay. And you have to live in the states where KeyBank operates. But if you do not live in those states, in other words, if you don't meet the geographical limitations, you got to have a relationship with them. For example, we have people who live in Texas, for example, or California, and they are online entrepreneurs. So they have accounts, business accounts and personal accounts at KeyBank. So they qualify. But here is the geographical limitation, just in case you are interested in the states where they operate. So they operate in Alaska, Colorado, Connecticut, Idaho, Indiana, Massachusetts, Maine, Michigan, New York, Ohio, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Utah, Vermont, and Washington states. Okay. Another condition is that you need to agree to provide additional personal and business information if requested, such as tax returns and financial statements. In terms of FICO, they will take you if you have a minimum of 550, as long as you have a strong relationship with the bank. You need to certify that all information you submitted on the application form is true and correct, and you need to authorize the bank and or a credit bureau to investigate the information on the application. I want to quickly talk to you about the loan benefits. We are still, folks, this show is doing a comparative analysis between KeyBank personal loans and lines of credit. And we are still talking about personal loans, okay? I want to give you the loan benefits here. Money. Okay, so when you walk into a KeyBank's brick and mortar branch, I want you to think about a few things, a few advantages. First, you have competitively fixed interest rates. Honestly, the thing is, when you analyze all the national banks, because KeyBank is a national bank, okay, they are a biggie. They're not a small community bank or a small regional bank. No, they're a biggie. So when you compare their interest rates versus what we see with other banks, they are competitive, really. So if you're lucky, you can even get a single-digit APR on your loan. That's just wonderful. Because if you think about it, with any personal loan, the interest rate matters, right? The higher the rate, the more the loan costs you over the long term. And especially when you have 7 years, that's a long time. So you really want to have a great fixed APR with your lender. And KeyBank offers that. They have flexible repayment terms. And as a matter of fact, you can choose your own loan terms. Think about it. So repayment terms start at 1 year, but you can take up to 5 or 7 years to repay your loan. Okay, payments are due monthly, and you can actually snag a 0.25% rate discount when you sign up for AutoPay. And I strongly encourage you to sign up for AutoPay. And AutoPay means what? It means that you have to make sure that your payments are automatically deducted from a checking account. And even better, you want to have that checking account to be what? To be a KeyBank checking account. Very important, okay? Because KeyBank does charge a prepayment penalty if you pay your loan off early. So the penalty is $150. If you pay your loan off in the first 18 months, there is no fee if you have a loan term shorter than 18 months, okay? Things you need to think about. I was talking to you earlier about the KeyBank relationship rewards. Those are good also. You can get a relationship rewards bonus with a personal loan if you are already a KeyBank customer, which is why I've been telling you to have a relationship with the bank, right? If you already have a KeyBank account, you can get 15,000 relationship rewards points when you are approved for a personal loan. So this is really good. And one thing I want to say here is that I want to quickly talk to you about I spoke about the prepayment penalty. You also have an origination fee, sometimes of $125, and there is a late payment fee of 10% of the monthly past due, $35 maximum, okay? And the return check fee of $27.50. And how quickly can you get your loan? This is a question, right? Because you have given them everything. This is a big decision time, because the last thing you want is just to sit around at home and you're given all the information and they're taking forever. I mean, forever to give you the money. So big decision time. The thing here is that if you are already a KeyBank customer, your loan will be funded quickly. And this is a keyword. I've been mentioning this all over this show. you want to have a relationship with KeyBank if you want to get a loan from them. So if you already a KeyBank customer, they know your info. They can actually extrapolate their credit score, or they can extrapolate your financial information, your net worth from the inflows and cash flows that are coming and going out of your account. Okay, so it'll be faster. By faster, I mean 3 days or 4 days. But if you're not a KeyBank customer, you might wait for 7 days to 2 weeks. That's just the way it is. Okay, that's the way it is. KeyBank does not specify minimum credit score. They don't specify that you need to have 670 to 850, but based on our research, if you have a credit score oscillating between 670 and 850, you're good to go. You'll get the loan. But if you have a credit score as low as 550, but have a strong relationship with KeyBank, that's kind of cool too. The bottom line is, if you have a skinny FICO score, you better have a fat checking account. That's just what it is, okay? And one thing you need to do if you want to increase your chances of approval, check your credit report. Okay, you can sign up for a free service called Credit Karma, or you can go to annualcreditreport.com. Every year, every 12 months, you have the possibility to have access to a free credit report from all 3 credit bureaus, okay, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. So that's kind of cool, all right? You are not paying anything. And try to always monitor your CUR. Pay down some debt. CUR stands for what? Credit utilization ratio. Write it down. CUR. You want your CUR to be as low as possible. Same thing for your DTI, your debt to income ratio. Okay. And one thing you also need to understand is that before you even fill out the application form, please, I want you to do a tally of your net worth. You want to take stock of your assets. Net worth means total assets minus total liabilities. Talk to me about that. So let's compare. Let's compare before we go to the break here. Let's compare KeyBank personal loans to other lenders, right? Money. Because the bottom line is, why would you go for KeyBank if you can actually get the loan elsewhere? Because it's not about being loyal to a bank. They're already rich anyway. You want to get the best deal possible, right? Right, wrong, right. So hey, listen. The thing here is that KeyBank is just one lender to consider for a personal loan. If you already have a relationship with them, I would say you want to consider them first. If you don't have a relationship with them, there are a lot of things, there are a lot of other players out there. When we think about credit unions, you have PenFed and you have Navy Federal. Those are great options. We have reviewed their loans on this show. You might want to consider them. They have great rates. They have very generous credit card limits. They have very generous loan amounts they can give you. This is kind of cool. And when we think about, we have reviewed also loans from community banks. We have reviewed loans from regional banks. But if you want to talk about big national banks, you might want to consider, for example, Citibank. You might want to consider Wells Fargo. Chase is kind of cool too, but Chase does not offer personal loans. And for the last few years, they have actually reduced their exposure to consumer lending. Okay, but you constantly want to think about how much you are able to borrow. You want to think about interest rates. You want to think about the fees, right? Because it's important. I mean, because people think about, oh, well, I don't want to have a high interest rate. But an interest rate, the APR, encompasses other fees. The interest rate is just one fee. You have origination fees. You have prepayment fees. You have NSF fees. Talk to me about all the fees. There's a lot of fees that you need to take into account, right? And you also want to pay attention to the minimum requirements that the lender wants you to have in terms of FICO score before they grant you the loan, right? So don't go out there and just start comparing oranges to apples, or you start comparing KeyBank to Navy Fed, or no, you want to look at you want to have a parameter. You want to look at all the parameters for approval and compare them. Compares apple to apples and oranges to oranges. Okay. You also want to pay attention to if you have some extra benefits like auto pay discounts or relationship bonuses. Those are important as well. Pay attention to that. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another session of the Awesome Suited Kiwi Show. We are still having a conversation right now today about KeyBank personal loans and lines of credit. So I spent the last 8 minutes on KeyBank personal loans, 10 minutes on KeyBank personal loans. Now I want to talk to you about the KeyBank lines of credit. So when we talk about lines of credit, I want you to think about a few things. Okay, with KeyBank, the interest rate on a line of credit is variable. The payments are variable. So you have principal plus interest. Okay, the loan amount is a little lower. So here you have $2,000 to $25,000. Okay, write it down, $2,000 to $25,000. Obviously, you don't need a lot of money. If you don't need a lot of cash, you just want to have access to a line of credit. In other words, money that's just sitting there that you can use if you need it. You want to consider this line of credit. There's no annual fee. There is no collateral needed. This is kind of good. And you can manage your line with online banking. The thing here is that when we think about KeyBank line of credit, actually the product is officially called KeyBank Preferred Credit Line. Okay, the APR is variable. It actually oscillates from a 9.24% to 24.24%. And the good thing here is that they don't charge an origination fee. That's kind of good. Okay, and we love the fact that they may charge a fee of up to 10% of the amount of each cash advance. It depends on the states where you're in and the relationship you have with KeyBank. Okay, and they do charge a late fee of $35 maximum. Okay, now how much you can borrow via KeyBank line of credit? I said it before, it goes from $2,000 to $25,000. But we have seen, based on our research, that some people were able to get away with a credit limit that ranges from $250 to $50,000. Yeah, we've seen multiple instances of people actually getting credit limits that ranged from $250 to $50,000. So I would just say that you want to talk to your branch manager or your loan rep or your line of credit rep, and you want to specify that with them. Also, in terms of eligibility, same thing as for the loan. You got to be 18 or 21, depending on the states where you live, and you got to have you got to work. You have to have your social. You also need to have an active and valid personal checking account with KeyBank. You want to show proof of identity, your driver's license, and KeyBank will report your account activity to all three credit reporting agencies. So whether you have a loan or a line of credit, they will report your transactional history to Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. I want to talk to you about secure lending. So all along, I've been talking to you about unsecured lending. So the KeyBank personal loan and the KeyBank line of credit, all these two products are unsecured, but KeyBank does offer a secured product. And this could be interesting, especially if you have assets you want to pledge, because the advantage of a secured loan or line of credit is that the interest rate is lower, right? Because the bank's exposure is lower in terms of default risk. So they are willing to give you a lower interest rate because they know they have the title of the equipment. If you don't pay, they'll just come and repo the equipment or the machinery. Okay. And so for instance, if you're planning to, let's say you want to buy a jet ski, a snowmobile, a tractor, or an ATV, you can get approved for a KeyBank secured personal loan before you shop. So you can save money by negotiating like a cash buyer. Okay. And the loan amounts, the minimum here is $5,000, and the loan term up to 60 months. So we have 5 years here. And we love the fact that there is collateral needed on this loan. It is a secure loan. It is a collateralized loan. Okay. You have flexible payment options, and you can actually manage your account online. And what we love with this service is that funds can be available as soon as the same day. This is really good, especially for a big bank such as KeyBank. Having funds available the same day, that's just fantastic. You can preserve your cash and secure your loan with the KeyBank CD, savings, or investment accounts. Okay, if you already have those services with the bank, this is kind of cool. And we love the fact that you can choose the best repayment plan for you. You can access your loan statements, check your balance, and make payments in online banking. So this is really, really good. And one thing also I want to talk to you, there is another service, another product called the Key Basic Credit Line. And this is a personal unsecured line of credit. Money, money, money. We're here. We are giving you all the info about money, money, money. So you have the KeyBank secured personal loan that I just spoke about, but you also have the Key Basic Credit Line, and this is an unsecured line of credit. So you have access to funds. You can make small purchases, you can pay bills, or you can set up overdraft protection so you are prepared for what comes up next, right? And here the loan amount, or the line amount if you will, oscillates from $250 to $5,000. Okay, there's no annual fee, there's no collateral needed. And here in terms of payments, the payments are variable. You have principal plus interest. Okay, and we will love the fact that you can actually use the money for anything you want. You can use the money for overdraft protection, but also to plug the occasional liquidity needs that you have. Okay. All right, folks, this is it for today's conversation. This was a quick comparative analysis between the KeyBank personal loans and KeyBank lines of credit. I hope you found this of value, and I will speak to you another time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.